fourth different country in just 6 weeks, the Hertz FIM Trial World Championship reaches its fourth and final round in Italy. Just 30 kilometres north of Milan, the purpose-built trials venue in the town of Lazzate has hosted local and national trials since the late 1960s and now takes centre stage for the 2020 season finale. Italy has been the last stop on the World Championship calendar in 2 of the last 3 years, but in all of those campaigns the title was already wrapped up before the final round. New ground for the championship in Lazzate and uncharted territory for Tony Bow. A compact calendar leaving him under pressure heading into a decisive weekend. Only 2 other riders still had mathematical hopes of the title arriving for the 43rd staging of Trial GP Italy. Adam Raga, the only other Grand Prix winner in 2020, and Jaime Busto, more realistically the Vertigo man, set to defend 3rd place overall in the 2 remaining trials. The withdrawal of Benoit Vincaz and Jack Price with recurring injury problems left the field at 10 competitors, 5 riders separated by 11 points in the battle for 5th overall. In the absence of Benoit Vincaz, 2 points finishes in Italy would be enough for Dan Pease to overhaul the Frenchman for 10th overall. 15 points behind fellow countryman James Dable, though. Pease could hope for little more than that in the final reckoning. Again, the Sherco youngster found himself cut adrift of the pack on day 1, failing a total of 24 sections to finish 45 marks back from his nearest rival. Positions 3 to 9 were separated by just 14 marks after 30 sections, following the trend of 2020 trial GPs with little to separate the podium contenders. For the 3rd time in 7 trials, James Dable finished down in 9th, but he was unfortunate not to end the day higher. An underwhelming start to the 2nd lap, costing him dearly. The result left the Brit a miserable 14 points back from the 6th place ranking he secured in 2019, with only 1 trial remaining. 8th place was all that Mikel Gelabert could manage after a frustrating first lap that saw him fail 8 of the 10 sections in slippery early conditions. 3 of those he cleaned 2nd time around, bringing himself back into contention. And although he'd left himself with too much work to do, that effort proved enough to hold on ahead of James Dable by a single mark. Adam Raga needed to finish 5th or better to be sure to take the World Championship to its final day, and his sights would have been set far higher from just 10 points down on rival Tony Bow with 2 trials to go. He enjoyed a solid, if unspectacular, start to the day, only 7 marks down on his rival, but a disastrous 2nd lap with 6 fiascos out of 10 halted his progress. An eventual finish of just 7th is his lowest placing since the 2003 Italian Grand Prix, and it couldn't have come at a worse time, effectively ending his 2020 title aspirations. Gabriel Marseille is fast becoming a regular podium contender. He notched his 4th double-figure score in 5 trials with 6th place on day 1 in Italy. The Montesa man arrived in Lazzate fighting for 5th in the championship against the likes of Takisa Fujinami and Gironi Fajardo. Although the youngster finished behind both on this occasion, he continues to bank consistent points in his rookie top-flight campaign. After starting the day with 4 consecutive failures, Gironi Fajardo did well to recover from 9th after the first lap to take 5th, his best result since the season opener in France. Only 7 marks back from the podium in the end, Fajardo managed 10 cleans through the final 20 sections to pip Marseille after the pair tied on 73 marks. A much-needed top 5 finish after his indifferent appearances in Spain and Andorra. 5 times a winner of Trial GP Italy, Takisa Fujinami showed some of his old magic with an excellent 2nd lap to take 4th place, matching his efforts from day 2 in Andorra. A pair of errors on the final lap cost Fujigas a long-awaited 1st podium of 2020, but there were signs of the form that took him to 3rd in the world last season, as the Japanese veteran recovered 5th overall in the standings. Adam Raga floundering on the second lap, Jaime Busto really needed to capitalise to reignite the fight for the silver medal, but he failed to take maximum advantage of a rare blip for the TRS man, conceding second place in sections 6 and 9 of lap 3. Nonetheless, Busto will have been satisfied with the first podium finish in 4 trials, continuing his unbroken run of double-figure scores in 2020, with third. An outstanding final lap, just 2 marks short of Tony Beau's performance, was the base for Jorge Casales' first ever second-place finish, the best result of his Trial GP career. An excellent ride saw the Gas #1 recover 7 marks against Jaime Busto and then build a 5-mark gap to give himself some breathing room late on. Casales was already 7 points clear of his nearest rival in the race for 4th overall, and this third consecutive podium finish only consolidates what's been an excellent 2020 campaign. Unbeaten in the last 9 editions of Trial GP Italy, Tony Beau was already the favourite to seal his 14th consecutive title before the action got underway in Lazzate. But with Adam Raga struggling and Beau growing in confidence as day one went on, the 2020 crown quickly became a foregone conclusion. That Beau's 10-point margin extended to beyond 20 to give him the title with a day to spare was undoubtedly a surprise. But Trial's all-time great rarely passes up an opportunity, and this was no exception. Beau put the entire field to the sword, eventually finishing 36 marks clear of Raga and 22 marks up on his nearest rival Casales. A dominant winning margin for his 5th victory of the campaign, a fine way to claim the 2020 title for Tony Beau. Already the greatest of all time 6 years ago, the Repsol Honda man has remained irrepressible at the top of the championship pecking order since. An impressive 18 cleans and just 5 failures for Tony Beau as he becomes world champion for the 14th time. Adam Raga 3 marks back from the position he would have needed to take the fight to the season's final day. The truth is, we really weren't expecting to win the title today. It's been a very strange situation, but a good one. I've enjoyed a great race with an excellent second and third lap in particular, so I'm pleased to close out the title today. With only 1 trial remaining, sizable gaps separate the lead quartet, but it's far closer further back. Takisa Fujinami now 5th, but just 6 points covering the pack down to Mikel Gelabert in 8th. Junior Cup winners in 2013 and 2014, Jorge Casales and Jaime Busto are now finally coming of age. But for the moment at least, there's still nobody who can touch Tony Beau. 27 dropped points during Trial GP Spain and Trial GP Andorra left Alexander Ferrer with an uphill task to overhaul Matteo Grattarola in the Trial 2 World Championship. On home ground, Grattarola needed only maintain his unbroken run of 2020 podiums to put the title race beyond doubt, with a trial to spare, or to record 15 points over 2 days to claim his second FIM gold. But the home heroes' results were of little consequence because Alexander Ferrer needed a minimum of 7 championship points to take the title race to its final day, and he could manage just 4 with a miserable 12th place finish. The Frenchman never got to grips with conditions, struggling with the same sections on each lap, and finished 18 marks back from the podium. For the second time this season, Sondre Haga claimed 3rd. The Norwegian's consistency through the day crucial as he beat Toby Martin by 6 marks, having gained 8 on the Brit during the opening lap. With a previous best of 11th overall in the 2019 World Championship, Haga has made a significant step forward this season, and he had Martin in his sights for 4th overall, with just a single trial remaining. Aniol Gelabert sat only 9th at the end of the opening lap in Lazzate, but added just 5 marks to his early 26-mark score to take a comfortable runner-up placing. 10 marks clear of Haga behind, 20 clean sections and 16 of them on the final 2 laps. Gelabert charged towards his second podium in the last 4 trials. Matteo Grattarola dropped just 4 marks in 30 sections to secure his second Trial 2 World Championship in style. Unlike in 2018 when he just scraped over the line on countback, or indeed in 2019 when he lost out late on, the Italian has been in devastating and consistent form throughout 2020 and secures the title with a trial to spare. This was his 3rd consecutive victory and his 5th in 7 trials. Fearless throughout, Grattarola maintains an unbeaten run on home soil that stretches back to 2018. Alexandre Ferrer suffers his worst result of the season and is ruled out of contention for the 2020 title. Finishing 7th, Jack Peace fails to really capitalise in the fight for silver. Top 5 finishes for Toby Martin and Aniol Jalabert see them gain ground on the pair. Inconsistent form sees Francesc Moret drop 2 places, the only change inside the top 10 on the penultimate day of the season. A 7th consecutive podium for Matteo Grattarola puts him an insurmountable 43 points clear. The celebrations can begin a day early as he's assured of the 2020 Trial 2 World Championship. Ahead of the Trial 2 season finale, Jack Peace held only a 7-point lead over fellow countryman Toby Martin and 9 over Aniol Jalabert in the battle for bronze. Matteo Grattarola was denied a 4th consecutive Trial 2 victory, but completed an unbroken sequence of 2020 podiums with a season-ending 3rd place on home ground. 3 fiascos at the trial's halfway mark left him in danger of missing out on the top 3 places altogether, but a spirited fight back and a single-mark final lap saw him recover to within 5 marks of victory. It was a successful day for the Italian contingent all round, with 5 home representatives in the top 10. Luca Petrella matched his season's best with 6th, and Gianluca Tourneur claimed a surprise 2nd. The 28-year-old making his first World Championship appearance since 2016 and in as a wildcard, finished only 3 marks short of what would have been a first victory since the 2011 World Cup. But it was Toby Martin who claimed his first win since the 2018 British Grand Prix. A crucial Section 5 ride on the final lap putting him 3 marks clear of Tourneur, and that's where he stayed. Martin, who missed out on the title 2 years ago on countback and on the bronze medal in similar fashion last year, finishes only 1 point short of Alexandre Ferrer for 2nd in 2020. But he can be satisfied with a strong late season run, with 4 consecutive top 6 returns, including 2 podium finishes.
Come on.
Jack Peace suffers his worst day of the season down in 13th and misses out on a real chance to steal silver in 2020, instead dropping back to 5th overall. Francesc Moret finishes down in 11th and after his worst weekend of the campaign loses his place in the championship's top 10. Toby Martin becomes the 4th different winner of the season, flanked by 2 Italians on home soil at the 2020 season finale.
Il tempo sta nella vittoria in Italia, seguito dai 2 azzurri.
Martin's victory moves him a comfortable 3rd, with Aniol Jalabert also leapfrogging Jack Peace. Luca Petrella moves above Arnau Ferrer for 7th, with Pablo Suarez dropping behind the pair. This year I've changed team and bikes to better. I trained really hard and started the year well. It's the 3rd year that I've been trying to win in Trial 2. The first year in 2018 I won it, but last year it went down to the final race in Spain with Gabriel Marcelli and he put in a better ride. I'm very happy to have won again and now I can think about moving up to Trial GP for next season.
Quindi è andato così, quest'anno ho dimostrato già in partenza di essere competitivo, di avere un buon livello per poter vincere la Trial 2 e così è stato, sono molto contento.
Matteo Grattarola, Alexandre Ferrer and Toby Martin finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th in 2019. They've all gained a place this season to become the 2020 Trial 2 podium trio. With only 2 remaining days of competition, the FIM Trial E World Cup returned on a knife edge following a 4-week break. Back-to-back victories first time out at his home Grand Prix left Gilles Chatagneux in command. The Frenchman looking for just 1 more win from 2 trials to seal the crown. But under pressure, needing an unbeaten weekend to be sure of maintaining his #1 status, reigning title holder Albert Cabastan took a dominant Day 1 victory. The Gas factory rider looked in control in Italy 5 weeks on from a disappointing Trial GP France, dropping just 7 marks throughout to finish 18 clear of rival Chatagneux. Cabastan suffered a scare on Day 2 with a failure partway through the first lap that left him behind, Chatagneux digging deep to take the fight to his rival. But from there, Cabastan was faultless for 26 sections in a row to win by 10 marks. Chatagneux pipped on tiebreak after the pair finished equal in the championship standings. I'm a little bit disappointed not to have been able to win here in Italy to become champion, but it's good to have been able to fight with Albert throughout, with 2 victories in Isola 2000. Here it was a bit tougher, but he rode very well. I'm happy with what Electric Motion has done. We've really given it everything, so it's a shame, but I'm satisfied nonetheless. It's been a very tough year. We knew that Electric Motion had prepared well and that they had good riders. We were expecting a challenge, and that's what we got in Isola 2000 with their 2 wins and a very strong performance. We had to react no matter what, and in less than a month really, Gas was able to put in some brilliant work to improve the bike and to adapt to it. We were really up against it because we needed 2 victories here in Italy to take the title, but that's what we've done. It's exciting, not just as trialee, but also to show what electric machines are able to do. We're doing the same sections as the 125cc riders, but today we got through with 5 marks and the best 125 rider scored 40. So I think we've really shown the potential of these bikes. Albert Cabastan takes the 2020 Trialee World Cup on tiebreak by virtue of his final day result in Italy. Carl Chatagneau is a close second with Julien Perret, making it 2 Electric Motion machines on the championship podium. Overnight rain softened the ground again ahead of the final day of 2020 competition. Tony Bowe arriving as world champion and Adam Raga needing only to finish the trial to secure silver. The fight for 5th would take much of the focus after a raft of position changes on day 1. With Takehisa Fujinami now leading the pack, fellow veteran Gironi Fajardo also having made progress. The final opportunity for 8 riders to improve their end-of-season World Championship ranking.
It's time for Takehisa Fujinami to be on the start.
Injury struggles for Benoit Bincaz and Jack Price have enabled Dan Peace to secure 10th overall in his second trial GP season, an improved effort after generally finding himself at the back of the pack in 2019. But Peace struggled throughout the final day of the 2020 season, saving just 14 marks all day. 26 failures, leaving him 48 back from his nearest rival. 9 points adrift of 8th overall coming into the season finale. James Dable was looking for his first podium finish since 2017 in order to improve his overall ranking. The disappointing first lap cut Dable well adrift from the leading pack, and just as on day 1 he was left down in 9th. As a result, the 34-year-old suffers his worst trial GP finish since his first full campaign back in 2006. Takehisa Fujinami had looked set to end his 25th trial GP season on a high after back-to-back 4th places. But in contrast to his recent rediscovered form, the Japanese veteran could only manage 8th on day 2 in Italy. So, after briefly heading the battle for 5th, Fujinami concedes 2 places on the final day of the 2020 campaign, which he ends with his lowest world ranking since his debut 1996 campaign, down in 7th overall. Although the bottom 3 were left well back from the podium place in Lazzate, only 2 marks covered positions 3 to 7 in another close-fought midfield. A single mark dropped on time proved critical for Jaime Busto as he slipped out of double-figure scoring for the first time in 2020, with his worst result of the season down in 7th. The Spanish youngster, who looked a genuine title contender in the opening 3 trials of the season, claims 3rd overall, matching his career best from 2017 and 2018 for a 3rd FIM bronze. After a shock day 1 7th place finish that ended his pursuit of 2020 gold, Adam Raga ended his campaign with a whimper in Italy. The TRS man had spent much of the season finale in 2nd place and looked set to return to the podium, but while the rest of the pack got to grips with conditions on the final lap, Raga failed to improve and dropped to 6th. The 10-point score was still comfortably enough to see the 38-year-old home for a 14th consecutive silver medal, even though he concedes 21 points to great rival Tony Bowe just over the 2 days of Trial GP Italy. An incredible 3-way countback separated positions 3 to 5 and Mikel Jalabert from his first podium in 17 trials. With an astonishing 9-mark final lap, he recovered ground lost with 6 fiascos in 7 sections midway through the first lap. He He lost out in a tiebreak on cleans, 11 compared to 12 for Gabriel Marseille and 13 for Jorge Casales. Jalaber's 5th place matches his best results of 2020. By finishing 8th overall, he maintains his 2019 ranking. Tiebreaks proved Gabriel Marseille's nemesis on the final day of his debut Trial GP campaign. By just a single clean, the 20-year-old missed out on 3rd position against Jorge Casales on countback. Podium finish would have moved him up to 5th overall, but instead a 4th place return tied him with Gironi Fajardo, and Marseille lost out in another tiebreak for the best single result of the season. So it's 6th in Trial GP for the 2019 Trial 2 world champion. Still a stunning rookie campaign in the top flight, with an average score of 12 points per trial since a difficult season opener in France. It was a failure for Jorge Casales in the final section of the season, but that was a rare error in recent rounds that have seen him gain in form and momentum. The Gas number 1 ends 2020 with a 4th consecutive podium and a comfortable 4th overall, the best season of his career and 1 place better than his 2019 ranking. In fact, the 2013 Junior World Cup winner has looked a match for the likes of Jaime Busto and Adam Raga in the final 2 rounds of this season, so he can now look ahead to 2021 with great confidence. After a stuttering start to the day with 3 failures in the opening 4 sections, Gironi Fajardo put in 2 strong laps to claim a season's best 2nd place. With points to make up as the only top 10 runner to have suffered a non-scoring trial in 2020, Fajardo picked up 17 and impressively recovered 5th overall in his first season with Sherco. A confidence-boosting result for the 35-year-old, who struggled in Andorra, but opens and closes his 2020 campaign with a podium finish. Tony Bow has generally made a habit of winning the season finale. This is the 5th consecutive campaign in which he's managed it. With a 14th world title already in his pocket and no pressure on his shoulders, Bow cruised to a 6th victory in 8 trials, in the process putting in some of his best rides of 2020. A crushing 35 marks clear of his nearest rival, with 22 cleans in 30 sections, Bow already had a sizable lead at the end of the opening lap and looked untroubled from there. It was tight at the top for much of this season, but the record books will show Bow as champion by a 31-point margin thanks to back-to-back victories at Trial GP Italy, while his main rival struggled throughout the weekend. Day 2 in Lazzate is a fair reflection of most 2020 trials. Tony Bow a cut above, but the rest of the pack close for 2nd. Just 8 marks separating the next 6 riders in the battle for the podium places on this occasion. 4th podium in a row for Jorge Casales, a 2nd of the season for Gironi Fajardo. Win number 118 for Tony Bow, his 6th of a shortened 2020 campaign. Gironi Fajardo is the biggest mover of Trial GP Italy, starting the weekend 8th and ending it 5th. Takehisa Fujinami drops 2 places on the final day, while teammate Bow celebrates title number 14. It's been a very unique season, but we've ended it with 6 wins out of 8, so I'm very happy. We finished here in Italy with a really good feeling, possibly my best ride of the season. Finishing up like that is ideal. After losing out to Takehisa Fujinami last year, Jaime Busto recovers bronze for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. For the 14th consecutive campaign, though, it's Tony Bow on top with Adam Raga behind him. A familiar finish to 2020.